I loved also that this is like the first Marvel movie that makes DC references, and you're actually going to be in the Batman too. Which is wild.
We can't talk about that.
You can't talk about the Batman?
Wait till they get a load of me.
Gotham is yours. None shall interfere. Do as you please.
Continuing our coverage on Robert Pattinson's variation of the Batman and Bruce Wayne, this will be my end and explained spoiler review and talking about potential sequels, etc. This will be posted after my non-spoiler review, which should have gone up the same day as the embargo went up. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around and make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, pop culture based content we do here on a daily basis. It really does help the channel if you turn the notifications on, hit the like button, share the video 500 times, and comment as many times as you can. Also, if you could become a channel member for less than 99p, it just helps your boy and it helps to support the channel. Also, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. I've got like 12 followers over there. I'm trying to build a community over there, and it will be cool if you could join it. Also, check us out on Instagram at Warstu if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. So, everyone wants to know, is there a post-credit scene? Not really, kind of, but what you really want to know is about the ending scene. So there is an ending scene, and it could be taken many ways, but most people will walk out thinking it is a setup in Arkham Asylum for the Joker. But that doesn't mean it is the Joker. It implies it's a Joker, but it also could be multiple other things, in my opinion. So we have the actor Barry Keoghan, I've probably said that wrong, who is maybe the Joker. There is something extremely wrong with its face, so it's hard to tell, but he laughs a lot, mentions clowns whilst in the cell next to Paul Dano's variation of the Riddler who failed in his plan, or did he? I think it's purposely being left open-ended in an ambiguous way, because you could take it as Two-Face, you could take it as Joker, you could take it as anything really, but 99% of people will walk out thinking that it's a Joker setup. And it could be. So the actor Barry Keoghan has a messed up face, gruesome, kind of clown makeup if you like, and a crackling laugh of the Joker. It's unmistakable that it actually will be the Joker. There is an exchange of dialogue between both the Riddler and what we presume to be the Joker. And potentially he is talking to the Riddler, a scheme to break out of Arkham Asylum and seize the opportunity to take Gotham for themselves. Now, there actually is a post-credit scene. In a way, goodbye is typed out in green Riddler text, along with a cryptic message that says this isn't the end for this universe. Not many people will report that post-credit scene, but it is there. It really is there. So that is the ending scene that happens after a flood in Gotham City. A massive flood in Gotham City that the Riddler has set up after he's already been caught by the Batman and he's in Arkham Asylum. And what happens is there is multiple other Riddlers around Gotham that set off multiple bombs, and it's basically a plan on the night of the election to kill the new mayor of Gotham in Gotham Circle Square. Assassinate the new leaders with a collection of the most devoted followers from the Riddler's stream. And yes, he has fans. The plan goes off for the most part, but the Riddler fails to account for Batman's sheer resilience. The Batman manages to take everyone out, though not without Gotham City being flooded and being knee deep in water. It is executed really well, but I think most people's criticism for this movie will actually come during the third act of this movie. It is the weakest part of the movie, in my humble opinion. Pretty weak third act. It just feels a bit disjointed to the rest of the movie, if you want to take my interpretation of it. So that's the third act in a nutshell, and that is the biggest spoilers of the whole movie. Edward Nash goes to Arkham Asylum. He was mostly envious of the sympathy Bruce Wayne received after the murder of his parents. As we know, in this movie, the Riddler was a real orphan. Batman, kind of an orphan in a way, but a multi-billionaire orphan. He tried to expose everyone, saying no more lies, exposing pretty much everyone in the police department for being dirty cops, except for young Jim Gordon. His plan to flood Gotham City and assassinate the new mayor, Bella Real in an onslaught of chaos. But obviously, as we said, Batman takes everyone down with the help of his potential bisexual girlfriend, Selina Kyle. And she helps him, and then she seems to ride off in the sunset. We have Bruce Wayne, Batman going one way on his bike, and then we have Selina Kyle, Catwoman, going the other way on her bike. She will be back for the sequel. That is freaking obvious. And then, as we said before this, Edward Nash becomes best friends with his new friend, the Joker. Or I guess you could say it is the Joker. And one of the biggest questions I've been asked on Instagram multiple times is, does the Riddler know who Batman is? Yes, that was so obvious. You should have known this from the trailers without even watching the movie. So the truth comes out. What is the truth? The truth is that the Riddler tried to tell Batman, because let's be honest, Robert Pattinson is literally in the Batman suit for 90% of the movie. He tried to say that his dad, obviously Thomas Wayne, had someone killed by a Falcone, but that wasn't actually the truth. That was somewhat part of the truth. All Thomas Wayne was trying to do was to protect his wife, Martha Wayne, from the truth coming out, which would have destroyed her and the whole family. So his motivations were pure, and he never told Falcone to take the journalist out. He never told Falcone to kill said person. And that's a big topic point in this, a really big topic point. So Thomas Wayne wasn't exposed for being evil. His intentions were pretty darn good. So there is a bunch of references and Easter eggs, I guess you could say, in this movie. So towards the end of the movie, during the flooding bits, Robert Pattinson injects himself with a green liquid that brings him back from the dead after being shot at point blank with a double-barrel shotgun. And it has to be a nod towards the Venom symbiote. No, I'm joking. It has to be a nod towards setting up the mighty Bane at some point. That could have been what it is. Its ending effectively sets the stage for No Man's Land. And what is more interesting is there was rumors that the sequel for this movie would be No Man's Land. And you've got to give props to Twitter user My Time to Shine, who is a Twitter scooper, who said back in January the 13th of 2022, the Batman sequel will adapt No Man's Land. And the way this movie ends, to be fair, that was correct. So you've got to say they've got somewhat information in order to even say that. But let's be honest, we literally went over a plot leak so long ago which covered a lot of this kind of stuff. So this movie does start on Halloween. It does, and there is multiple deaths as Riddler is realistically trying to bait Bruce Wayne, Batman, out. The standout character for me, and it's pretty obvious why the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, is getting his own series, is because Falcone obviously got shot. It's unclear if he died. Falcone is also Selina Kyle, Catwoman's father, and that's a big talking point during the movie. And it's worth saying that Riddler himself, Edward Nash himself, sniped Falcone, took him out with a sniper rifle. And he planned this, and he basically gave himself up and admitted to doing it, and that is how he ended in Arkham Asylum. So something I find very peculiar is there is so much talk about the Batman 2 before we've even got the Batman 1 that comes out later this week officially to the general audience. Is we've got Robert Pattinson talking about sequel, we've got Matt Reeves talking about sequel, we've got the producers talking about sequel with an even time frame. The Batman 2 expected to release time frame. Now I find this pretty obvious, and I tweeted it like, yo, this is obvious information. So according to Clark, Batman 2 is expected to release in less than 5 years, meaning it should hit the theaters at some point before 2027. Jeez, I hope it hits the theaters before 2025. Realistically, Robert Pattinson isn't getting any younger. We could do with them shooting it in the next year or two. But it is interesting how also the director himself basically confirmed what Barry Keoghan's deleted scene was, to the point where he pretty much confirmed the Joker is kind of in the movie before the movie even came out. And Robert Pattinson confirms that Batman has a sequel tease, or did he? So he said this recently. Pattinson recently said he would love to do it. More movies as the Caped Crusader. And that's already envisioned now. Bruce psychology would grow over 2 more movies. So it's interesting to hear from Pattinson. The Batman seems largely self-contained aside from a tease sequel. There is so many teases throughout this movie. So during an interview with Total Film, he said this: when I saw it for the first time, even from the first shot, it does feel incredibly differently tonally to any other movie. And it's so strange and kind of, it's sad and quite touching. It's a really, really unusual Batman story. And it almost seems harder for me to imagine it being a series afterwards. Pattinson specified that aside from a little bit at the end, hinting at the sequel, the film is largely self-contained and feels strange, personally. Now, I do agree with this. The longer you sit on this... Now, before we did the non-spoiler review on this channel, I sat on it for about 3-4 days thinking about it, and the more you think about this movie, the stranger and deeper and more intense it actually gets. The music literally syncs with the scenes perfectly. I'm really looking forward to the general reaction from the fans of this movie, because so far we have critics, influencers, YouTubers, and personalities giving their opinion, but we actually haven't really had the audiences yet. Now, I know on Thursday, I think it's Wednesday in America, that some fan screenings will be happening, and that will be fascinating to see what the actual audience thinks. Because although critics are fans, they're not actually fans in the sense that they don't get to watch things early. So I'm fascinated to see and to hear what the actual audience is going to say about this when it comes out. So Matt Reeves, as I said earlier in this video, basically ruined Barry Keoghan's role in this movie. And what is interesting is my buddy Chris from comicbook.com, I'm going to tag it at the start of the video, he actually asked Barry in an interview about what is he doing in the Batman movie, and he got really extremely touchy about it instantly, which made me at the time of seeing that interview think, yeah, okay, the Joker leaks, the Joker kind of talk, the Joker rumors we've been going over is actually true. But then the director comes out and says this: Barry's in a scene. It's a very cool scene. I'm sure we'll release that scene after the movie comes out because it's a really cool deleted scene, but he's in the movie. I went to one of the first UK press screeners. In fact, they even said we are some of the first people in the whole world to see it. So is he on about a different scene? So he says this: scenes we cut that I like, Reeves said. In fact, there's a scene with an unseen prisoner, Barry Keoghan, and it's worth saying that he's actually listed as a unseen prisoner in the credits, who appears at the end of the movie in Arkham Asylum with the Riddler. There was an earlier scene where Batman went to Arkham to try to profile the Riddler, and Barry is in the scene. It's a very cool scene. I'm unsure we'll release the scene after the movie comes out because it's a very cool deleted scene. Okay, so why didn't you put this scene in the actual movie? It literally makes no sense because there is a scene in the movie, so I'm a bit confused what scene he's on about. Is it the scene that is in the movie? But either way, we are definitely getting a Batman 2. Why? Because information came out yesterday that the Penguin series is actually further along on the development process than the GCPD series is going to be on HBO Max, which is interesting because the Penguin series was only recently announced in the last month or so, and the other series was announced way ago, realistically. So the only thing that I disliked about this movie is it starts on Halloween, the long Halloween, an adaptation of the long Halloween. It should have been released last year in Halloween because it's a Halloween movie. It really should have been. But yeah, guys, stellar cast. Really stellar cast. Such a good storyline. As I said, we're not going to go over the plot in major depth. I'm just going over the main narrative points that I feel you should know about this movie. So like always, guys, let us know what you think about this video. Any criticism, positive or negative, but just be respectful. I really did enjoy this movie. I'm going to be watching it very soon again because there's so much to pick up. So many teasers. There's a Hush teaser. There's a Joker teaser. There's a Bane teaser. There's so many little teasers. And if you look hard enough, even the course of hours could be seen in this movie. But like I said, we'll be doing multiple videos about the Batman later next week. So like always, guys, please check us out on Instagram at Warstu if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Also check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. We're trying to grow a community over there. We've got like 12 followers, but more importantly, please let me know what you think about this movie down below. If you're going to talk spoilers, use the spoilers tags, please. And also subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, share this video everywhere. And like always, guys, tell everyone about Warstu. But more importantly, I really hope you enjoy this movie when you get to see it. And like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.